What's up, guys? I'm Ashley, the coach of the Houston Hardens. I'm participating. This is gonna be my first draft league. This draft league is the UBLN, which unfortunately, as the time of recording, I cannot remember what that stands for. But this is the first season, and I'm pretty excited about it. So we're just gonna go ahead and go on to the next part here and see what we got for information. All right, so we have 12 teams over 12 weeks with two conferences, with being Gen 7 and Gen 3 conference, and four divisions: Ruby and Sapphire and Sun and Moon. So I'm in the Moon conference, and we get two Z Crystal users per team. So you'll get to choose between that. You also, I think, you can choose. You can change it once per season as well. So that's pretty nice. Each team has to get a Mega Evolution, one Tier 1 Pokemon, one Tier 2 Pokemon, two Tier 3 Pokemons, a Tier 4 Pokemon, a Tier 5 Pokemon, and four Pokemon that add up to at or under 400 points. So a couple of different key things about team building you got to remember. Anyway, let's see. My first pick, I picked Zygarde. Zygarde is a fantastic physical attacker. It's got the best, the most spammable move in the entire league, in my opinion, or I guess in the meta, being Thousand Arrows, seeing as it's unresisted by ground types. He gets Coil, Dragon Dance, Extreme Speed, lots of great moves. Just like even that, just that set right there, Dragon Dance, Coil, Extreme Speed, and Thousand Arrows is damn near unstoppable if you let it get at least one of those things up. So really just a force to be reckoned with overall, and I figured a great place to start building with my team, especially since I had the 10th pick in the draft. I didn't get to get any of the Tapus or things of that nature, so I was pretty happy with getting Zygarde 50 to fall down to me at 10. Next up, we got Clefable. This was my first free pick. I decided to go straight for another Tier 1. Fairy types are very good in Draft League format, and it was important to me personally that I got a really strong fairy type to use. Clefable is a great one because it can work both offensively and defensively, and as well as being able to run a good variety of special moves. It's got great abilities in Unaware and Magic Guard. Meaning that with Magic Guard it can be a nice life orb sweeper, whereas with Unaware it can wall things that rely on setting up to take me down. Really just a very versatile Pokemon and a great asset for my Fairy Dragon Steel Core, which, speaking of, next we picked up Bisharp for our Tier 2. I personally have used Bisharp barely that much in competitive play, but what I have played I really like. It's nice to have strong physical attackers, especially in a draft league. I really like it. It's got very high special attack. Sorry, not special attack. Regular attack. It's got it's not. It doesn't have the best speed tier, but it does get access to great moves like Rock Polish to help kind of mediate that. Defiant is a great ability that can punish a defog. Something that I thought was going to be very important. Um, it also has access to knockoff, which is a fantastic move to keep, knock off those items, because a lot of these sets are built around the items that accompany the Pokemon. So knocking those off is a great way to disrupt a game plan, as well as being a great pursuit trapper and just a generally good answer to any of the Tapus that may come crawling my way. So we'll move on to my next pick. I picked up my next Tier 3 pick, being Arcanine. I really like Arcanine in singles. I'm primarily a VGC player. I started playing VGC around when Sun and Moon came out. So I'm very familiar with Arcanine, but I've also used it a lot in OU. It has pretty good move pool. Its special attack and attack are close enough together where I can feel comfortable running a mixed set or running a special set or an attack set. So again, it gives a little bit of versatility in my team. Arcanine also with Intimidate can become a great a defensive Pokemon as well. It's got access to Will-O-Wisp and things of that nature. Extreme Speed is always a nice move to have for priority, and seeing that 3 out of the 4 mons I've drafted so far have priority is really nice, seeing as only one team gets that Tapu Lele. So the Psychic Terrain isn't as big of an issue, and priority moves can help make up for what is kind of shaping up to be a mediocre speed tier for my team. Next up, we have Thundurus T. I really like Thundurus T. Something I've noticed from watching draft leagues and watching videos about draft leagues is the strong electric types are important. And seeing as Thundurus T gives Volt Absorb, I figured I'd kill two birds with one stone and get me a nice electric resist alongside a strong electric type attacker. It's got a pretty good speed tier. It's got an unbelievably awesome special attack. And its attack is actually serviceable. If I'm it's not horrible. Obviously, it's nothing compared to its special attack, but depending on what kind of spread you need to run, it's possible to maybe dump a little bit into attack and maybe get a key hit on something you might not otherwise with some of its physical move pool. Um, I'm a huge fan of this Pokemon, and I'm really glad I got it. Although after getting this, it did put me in a bit of a hole with my free Pokemon. Seeing as you have to stay under 400 points, drafting two Tier 1 Pokemon will put me over the range. So what I need to do is you'll see later on, I end up grabbing a Mega Evolution with extra points attached. Because some of our Mega Evolutions in here are deemed not as good as some of the others. So like for example, you'll get a plus 40 points for drafting Mega Blastoise, but obviously if you grab Mega Metacham, it's not going to cost you, you're not getting anything extra back, so it's a very good mine. But Mega Blastoise doesn't really have as much utility. It's not considered as strong, so you can get extra points back, as you'll see with my with one of my later picks in the draft. But anyway, we'll move on to the next one. We picked up a Swampert here. Now this is where I kind of feel like I shot myself in the foot. Because the reason I drafted Thundurus was so that my water type had a little bit more room to play, and then I just went ahead and drafted a water type that was immune to electric attacks anyway. So nonetheless, I still am a huge fan of this pick. It's got great defenses and serviceable attack. Well, I mean, it's got good attack. I'm sorry, it's got decent defenses and good attack. It's got a pretty solid HP stat and the ability to run either a defensive or especially defensive set, as well as just having a nice bit of resistances there. It's only weak to grass type attacks, and not a lot of teams in this league really sprung for strong grass type attackers. Like I know that there's mons like Superior that are still on the draft board after the draft has been completed. So I'm thinking the Swampert might be a little bit more important to me now than it was when I first drafted it. But I'm excited about Stealth Rocks. I think it's a very reliable toxic user. I think that I really like Waterfall and Earthquake for coverage moves. Really excited about using this mon. Next up is Virizion. I was looking for something to round out my Fire Water Grass core, and Virizion seemed like the best thing available to kind of fill that role. It's not really as much as a defensive tank. Although it does have fantastic special defense, its typing leaves it kind of weak to a lot of different common attacking types, such as Psychic and Ice and things of that nature. Especially Ice, seeing as I've already also got my my Thundurus and my Zygarde that are weak to Ice type moves, so it's not out of the question for any given mon on an opponent's team to be running Ice type moves for coverage, which is very common. So that is something to worry about, is this weakness to Ice. But I think the Virizion gives me a fantastic attacker. It gets Swords Dance, so that 90 attack can be boosted a little bit. It unfortunately does not get Calm Mind or Nasty Plot or anything of that nature to raise its special attack, but I think I have something for that later on in the draft. But for right now, it's nice to have a good mixed attacker with a strong grass type stab move and actual good special defenses as well. It's just nice to have a multi-role grass type to go along with my multi-role fire and multi-role water. So it feels like I got a very versatile fire water grass core, which is something I was very happy about. My next pickup, I kind of doubled on the fighting types and went for Hitmontop. I really like Hitmontop just in general as a Pokemon. It's my favorite of the three evolutions of Tyrogue, which is one of my favorite baby evolutions from one of my favorite generations. So I was really happy I managed to snag him. First of all, I've got Double Intimidate, something I'm really excited about because not a whole lot of strong special physical attackers can really recover from a Double Intimidate, and it frees me up to use Rapid Spin on Hitmontop to get rid of some hazards, seeing as I don't have any hazard control yet. It's got great special defense and pretty solid defense with a pretty solid attack. Its HP stat is kind of what lets it down, in my opinion, because you don't really need its special attack. It's got middling speed with good special defense, and good attack, but that HP stat is pretty trash, but it's okay. I think that it works very well, especially defensive. It's a good assault vest Pokemon from my experience, and I'm definitely excited to use it. Next up, for my tier 5 pick, I picked up Drifblim. Now this is a mod I'm actually not sold on. I like the idea of it. I just need to see how it acts in execution. I've used it in VGC a little bit on the online ladder. I've never had a competitive team or competed in a competition with it, but I like how bulky it can be. Its special defense and defense are not very good, but that 150 HP really helps. Along with the ability to stack it with, for example, if I'm playing a team that's got Tapu Fini, I can just slap a Misty Seed on that and automatically get it a +1 special defense. And the Fini can't really do anything to the Drifblim, which will force a switch. I can use something like a Stockpile and something like that and use Baton Pass, because Drifblim gets the Baton Pass. So this even though it gets a fairly good special attack at 90, I'm not sure I'll be using this Pokemon to attack all that often. It definitely will run attacking moves in the case of Taunt and things like that. And I do plan on using it offensively for at least a couple of teams that I've been scouting out, because I know it can have fairly good games. But the thing I'm really excited about in Drifblim is its variety of setup moves and the ability to Baton Pass, as well as having Tailwind and Defog. So it just seems like a great all-around utility mon to use, especially against teams that have Tapus, because besides Tapu Lele, there's not really a whole lot any of those guys can do to a Drifblim. So, well, I guess except for Tapu Koko. So, I mean, I guess, it's not foolproof. It's a tier 5 mod, but I do like its potential, and I think it has the ability to do some really cool things for me. All right, finally, my next tier 5 would be Mr. Mime. I lacked a psychic type on the team, and Mr. Mime was a tier 5 psychic mon I had a lot of experience with. I was also thinking about Claydol, but my ice weakness is abysmal as it is, adding on Drifblim to the list of Pokemon weak to ice. So I really needed something with good special defense. Seeing as I think I have Arcanine and and Swampert and things of that nature that can really tank ice type physical hits. It was nice to have something. Mr. Mime has that 120 special defense, along with that 100 special attack and 90 speed, which are really the important things. All of its other stats are pretty bad, but it gets good abilities in Filter, as well as Technician. It gets Fake Out. It gets lots and lots of support moves, including Healing Wish, which is a move that I really like. Differential is important, but if I have a mon that's really giving them a hard time, and it's really only hindered by low health or something like that, it would be nice to have the option to switch back into it, as I've already seen from having battles in other leagues and things of that nature. So I'm really excited about using Mr. Mime, Mr. Meme, but I don't think he'll become in a majority of weeks, because it kind of plays the same role as Drifblim with a different typing. So it's nice to have the versatility between the two of them. So finally, with my very last pick in the draft, I pick up Mega Glalie. So this Pokemon has +80, or yeah, I think it was +80 for if you picked it, which allowed me to pick not only an extra tier 1 mon, but also get Hitmontop instead of having to pick 3 tier 5s. So this thing really is, even if I don't bring it, even if I never brought it to a match, like, this thing was the glue that held the team together, because it allowed me to dip into the draft the way that I wanted to. So, but I definitely anticipate bringing this thing. It's an absolute monster. Speed, 100 speed is very nice. The special defense and defense are just okay. It'd be a lot better if it wasn't an ice type, but I mean, what can you do? No mon is perfect. However, that the base 120 and attack and special attack is something that is absolutely insane. That would be a solid base stat for just one of those on a Pokemon. This one has both. It gives a good variety of moves across both special and physical sets, as well as having the ability to run mixed. So it gets Freeze Dry for water types. Refrigerate is an insane ability, turning Double Edge into an ice type nuke that will pretty much hit anything that doesn't resist it. Tailwind support with Drifblim would always be nice to put that base speed up where it needs to be able to sweep a team. I'm really excited about using this Pokemon, even though I've actually never used it, or I don't even know if I've ever seen anybody use it. But based on my research and things, I think it fits my team well. As you see, I didn't have an ice type, and I wasn't really trying to scoop Abomasnow. A lot of the good megas that I liked have been taken or were out of range when I picked Thundurus early on in the draft. But let's go ahead and we can take a final look at the team here. This is the whole squad. I'm really excited about doing this draft league. As I said, I've never done one before. This was my first draft. I think that I could have done a lot better. I mean, I picked Bisharp with the intent of hazard stacking and hazard stacking and yeah, prompting a defog to boost the special attack with Defiant, because that's a tech I really like. And not a lot of teams really picked up Rapid Spinners, and a lot of the Rapid Spinners I think I have pretty good answers for anyway. So I was really planning on doing that, but then when I drafted my team, I got Stealth Rocks on Swampert and Spikes on Glalie, and that's about it, which is unfortunate. Maybe I could set screens with Mr. Mime to try and bait a defog, but I didn't really build that the way I wanted to. As I said earlier with Thunderous, drafting him without having a water type that already resists electric, like it would have been nice if I could have picked up something like I think in an earlier draft plan I was thinking about going Pukamuku in tier 4 as a strong, bulky, unaware water type, and instead I prompted for Swampert in tier 3. So maybe with the electric immunity in mind, I could have gotten a different water type and maybe gotten a different Pokemon for my tier 3. But overall, I'm really happy with the composition of my team. I think it's a really good mix of Pokemon I'm familiar with and Pokemon that I'm excited to use. But I guess we'll just see over the whole course of the thing. Thank you for watching. This has been my first official video on YouTube, so it feels pretty cool. Just let me know what you think, I guess, in the comment section below. And subscribe if you want to see me get blown back week after week in the UBLN. So, peace out.